From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie Weather Story for Monday, August 15th, 2022. Going back to last night, we had a couple supercells in southeast Saskatchewan near the Weyburn area. Really classic example of splitting supercells. I'm going to show you what I mean. I saved this from my phone. That's why I've got the vertical layout here on the radar loop. But look at these supercells. I'll go ahead and just bring it back here and pause it, and then we'll slowly go through this. You watch the storm develop here. Let me go ahead and let it reset. All right, the storm develops here kind of along Highway 39, south of the Weyburn area. And then what happens is we get two updrafts. We get one that is rotating cyclonically, and then one that's rotating anticyclonically. So here's the two splits. You've got a left split, one that goes to the left of the mean storm motion. We won't get too complicated here, but then your right split, which goes to the right of the mean storm motion here. And so what happens is sometimes we get these left splits that can produce really big hail. I wish that this was playing a little bit more smoothly. Oftentimes your right split, the higher odds of a sustained supercell producing tornadoes. But then the left split, these are just notorious big hail producers. And you can take a look at the radar estimated hail size here. This is a 2-hour loop from around 8:30 last night. And again, you can see the two storms. You see the left split, and here's the right split. And then what happens here? The left split, the one with the bigger hail here, radar estimated in excess of 2 inches. And then we had ground truth here. This looks like about golf ball sized hail. Again, just east of Weyburn. This is from the left split, the big hail producer here that tracked off to the north and to the east. Now, as we go ahead and take a look at the radar here this morning, we still got some showers and storms ongoing, now moving out of southeastern Saskatchewan into this would be southwestern portions of Manitoba. The Brandon area seeing some showers and storms all the way up toward Riding Mountain National Park, all the way south toward the U.S. border, and we've got a nice shelf cloud there. Aaron Jajak, a colleague of mine, a friend of mine, a storm chaser who lives up there in the Canadian prairies, does a lot of storm chasing, is on it here this morning, out ahead of that line of storms, the big shelf cloud. Oftentimes you see this big ominous cloud coming. It looks like maybe the end of the world or a big mothership coming over the horizon. Then you get those gusty winds as the storm moves overhead. We'll look at the satellite picture here, infrared, to kind of paint the picture. Here's the storm cluster right now, the very bright cloud tops from that. Kind of the main trough, a very subtle trough, is located up here across northern Alberta. We've got a front that extends down here. We've got just kind of this subtle disturbance along that frontal boundary here with the more intense showers and storms off to the south. Kind of a bigger trough here in the Gulf of Alaska. We've got a tropical wave making its way in here to portions of southern Texas from the Gulf of Alaska. And then we've got our big ridge here across the western United States. We do have to talk about severe storms in the forecast through the rest of the day today. We've got those showers and storms in southern Manitoba that will continue through the morning hours, probably going to wane as we get toward midday. But this is the forecast here, instability on the left, and then the forecast precipitation on the right side here for Tuesday evening. This is getting toward about 7 to 10 p.m. this evening. Instability going to be highest here across southeast Saskatchewan, again into southern Manitoba. That's where I think we'll see, isolated to widely scattered severe storms popping up again later on this evening, and then can't rule out a couple of strong storms here forming off the mountains, moving into portions of central Alberta, maybe an isolated strong storm across that area. This is the latest outlook from Environment Canada, again painting that severe weather risk along the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border, and then a very low risk for an isolated strong storm here, kind of northeast of Calgary, between the Calgary and Grand Prairie area. Now, the big question mark with the severe weather risk later on today is going to be how storms and cloud cover get out of there. Here, again, we've got, severe storms ongoing this morning. These will continue for another couple of hours as they slowly move off to the east. But then how well can we kind of recharge the environment here back toward the east? What I'm talking about here is as we play the satellite loop and look at the very, intense cloud tops bubbling with those thunderstorms here, we're going to eventually want to see these clouds break up if we're going to allow that environment to kind of recharge and reignite showers and storms later on this afternoon and evening. It's possible those clouds kind of linger later on into the day, kind of squashing the higher instability forecast here, and maybe lessening the fuel for additional storms later on today. It's certainly not the most volatile picture, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here along the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border here. Some question marks with the intensity and the coverage of storms later on today. Another reason for that, we don't really have that much in the way of upper level support. We've got an unstable air mass in place, but we certainly don't have a potent storm system working its way in. You see rather disorganized flow across the prairie here as we head through Monday afternoon, Monday evening. Just some very subtle ripples within that flow with the stronger jet stream flow back here across the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of Alaska, where that main upper level trough is. We'll take this through really the rest of the week, and you'll see not much changes. We see the ridge of high pressure here start to nudge into the Canadian prairies, just very subtle little ripples in the flow coming over the top of that ridge, bringing in chances for showers and storms primarily to eastern portions of the prairie. It's going to be a quiet week across the west. Southern Alberta, central Alberta into western and southern Saskatchewan, really going to be on the quiet side. So here's how we look as we get into Thursday and Friday. This is getting into the end of the week, August 19th and 20. Really just looking at ridging across the prairie. We're going to start to see some of that heat continue to build into the region. And this is just not going to be a forecast or not, a forecast period over the next 7 days that's going to support much in the way of organized precipitation. So from the NAM model, this will take us through Thursday. Let's go ahead and bring it back here. We'll get into midday, mid-afternoon, and then evening here on Monday evening. And again, just looking for isolated, maybe widely scattered showers and storms to pop up across this area. And then can't rule out a strong storm coming off the mountains here across central Alberta as we get into the late evening hours as well. As we get into Tuesday and then Wednesday, see another little subtle system work its way out of the Rockies Wednesday into Wednesday night. Not much to work with, though, as far as moisture until we get into the eastern portions of the prairie. This is what I talked about, really. The chances for scattered showers and storms is going to be highest as you get off toward the east with really drier conditions across the west as high pressure kind of dictates things. So here's your forecast for the week. We'll go ahead and take it back here. Again, isolated, widely scattered showers and storms across southern Manitoba, maybe far southeast Saskatchewan today. Looking at a pretty quiet Tuesday, really a quiet Wednesday, except for portions of eastern Saskatchewan into central and southern Manitoba into Wednesday night, and then maybe Thursday morning, seeing those showers and storms continue. The next week, though, from the European model, again, keeping things dry across southern Alberta, southwest Saskatchewan. Best chance for scattered showers and storms today, and then again Wednesday into Thursday. Going to be here across far eastern Saskatchewan into central and southern Manitoba. Isolated, widely scattered showers and storms at times, kind of north of that along Highway 16, central Alberta into central Saskatchewan. Here's the picture. Week 1, and then this is week 2. Not much change. Big trough in the Gulf of Alaska. Big trough developing here across portions of the eastern United States. And then in between that, the ridge of high pressure building into western Canada. That means it's going to be primarily hot and primarily dry over the next week. Big question marks as far as how things evolve in week 2. But again, here's your week 1 precipitation anomaly. Week 2 precipitation anomaly. Not much of a shift here, but looking drier compared to normal across much of the prairie, except for that region that I highlighted that'll see showers and storms today. Then showers and storms once again Wednesday and Thursday, and that is far eastern Saskatchewan into central and southern Manitoba. As promised, heat going to continue to build its way into western Canada here. It's going to be hottest across British Columbia, Alberta into western Saskatchewan. What does that look like as far as actual high temperatures? We'll take it through the next 4 to 5 days. High temperatures today, low to mid 30s across southern Alberta, far southwest Saskatchewan, mid to upper 20s elsewhere. It's going to be pretty similar through much of the week here. This will be your Tuesday highs, a little hotter, mid 30s here across southern Alberta, southwestern Saskatchewan. See a shot of slightly cooler air come in there on the heels of that Wednesday storm system. Remember the one that brings here kind of the shower and storm risk off to the east. Well, it will knock temperatures back 3 to 4 degrees across the rest of the prairie, but we see that heat try to rebuild as we get into the weekend. This is Friday, then this would be Saturday, and this would be Sunday then. Looking at some of our select cities here, Calgary, again, really just hanging out upper 20s, low 30s. Same story here in Edmonton, upper 20s to near 30 degrees as we get toward the end of the week. Saskatoon, upper 20s, low 30s. Regina, same story, upper 20s, low 30s. And then Winnipeg, a little bit cooler, mid to upper 20s for your highs as we head through the rest of the week.